I know it can be difficult, but if you choose to go through it with God, if you choose to follow God's instruction, my dear sister, I can assure you, you will come out from that season with a great testimony, not only for you, not only for your family, but for generations, but for unbelievers outside there that will give their life to Christ because of you. Hello, everyone. I hope you that is listening to me today, you are doing great. And this is my prayer for you. Today, I come to tell someone, don't rush that season. Yeah, this is our topic today. Don't rush that season. You know, under heaven, there are many seasons. And all of us, we are going all through those seasons. But there's that season, that tough one, that difficult season, that season where you feel like nothing is working, that season where you feel like you have been abandoned by God. You are asking yourself, God, where are you? That season that you think that God has forgotten you. That season that you think that the things you need, you don't have it, you are struggling, is really challenging for you. And of course, by our nature, we just don't want that type of season in our life. And anytime the season comes, even us as children of God, we are like, okay, God, do fast, let me come out from this season. But God is allowing all those different seasons in our life for a particular purpose. So that's why I'm telling you today, don't rush that season. What does it mean, don't rush that season? Because, of course, the season will pass. But when you will be out of that season, what have you learned? What happened in your life? Sometimes somebody will come out from a season and then you are asking the testimony for the person is not even able to tell you how. What are the things that happened in her life during that period? What are the things that happened in his life during that period that he can give the testimony, that he can say, okay, I've been through this, but this is how God worked in my life and I was out of this. This is what I learned. This is what I was able to understand. This is what I knew I have to disconnect myself with. There are many people that are going through season and they don't even, they are not able to write down the things that they how will I say, the things that they have learned through that season. So I'm coming today to tell someone, don't rush that difficult season. Take your book and your pen all through that season. You need it. Let's look at the story of Ruth in the Bible. Ruth, the husband died. And we sometimes when we read the story, if we feel like it's so easy. No, a young woman without child, your husband died, you are a widow without child. It's a painful situation, it's a difficult situation. And for everyone, of course, you would like instead the comfort. You want to be with people that will comfort you, your family, and you will start thinking about redoing your life because no child, no husband anymore, no father-in-law. There's nothing that is comfort, that's a comfort for you to remain in that family, in the family of your husband. But Ruth, she did not just look at her, she also looked at Naomi that lose everything, and she chose in that difficult moment, in that difficult period, in that season of challenge, to stand with her. And she said, I will not go, I will go with you. Your God will be my God. When she's taking the decision, it feels like everything is easy. No, it's not easy, because it's her saying that I'm leaving my comfort zone, I'm leaving my family, I'm going in a place that I don't even know how it will be. And she was not even thinking that maybe she will remarry, she will got remarried in the future, because she was going with in a place she doesn't know. Even Naomi was not even expecting having someone again in back in Jerusalem. So this is how in which condition Ruth was finding herself, and she decided to go through that challenge time. When she reached in the land of Naomi, they were not having anything, and she decided that she will go and work. She went to glean. That job was for poor people. Maybe her family was a good family back home where she was coming from, but she found herself in a new land, and she had to go and doing the work of poor people for her to be able to eat with her mother-in-law. She went through it. She was humble. She did it, and she was hardworking during that season. And then the other thing is that she was so obedient and committed, obedient and committed to Naomi. She did not choose to do things by herself, saying that, no, I'm a grew up person, I'm a young woman, I know what to do. No, she decided to follow everything Naomi was asking her to do. And at the end, what happened? At the end, Ruth was able to get married again with a wealthy man and put to bed a son that was Obed. Now, people will stop there and say, oh, this is a glorious story for her. Finally, she got married and she had a child. But if you read along the lines, the testimony of Ruth didn't stop just for her having a wealthy and a good husband and having a child. No. The first person that was even beneficiary of the the story, the challenge of Ruth was Naomi. Because Naomi, the Bible said that she was bitter after she lost all her family, her children, and her husband. She was bitter. She was a bitter woman. But because of now Ruth, Ruth brought joy in the life of Naomi. And then again, Jesus Christ is coming from the lineage of that son Ruth carried, Obed. Obed is the grandfather of David. So the lesson here is that your challenge time, that tough time you are going through, is not only for you. It's not only that at the end you say that I've been barren for 10 years and God gave me a child. I've been for a tough moment without job. It was challenging for me to eat, for me to take care of myself. And today I have a job with a good salary. No, it's not only about that. I've been I've been single for many years and I got married at 40 and I have a good husband and that. No, it's not only about that. It's about what that story, what that testimony is bringing to the generation after you, is bringing to your generation, is bringing to people around you, is bringing to that unbeliever. That's why God is bringing you to that into that challenge. Yes, to work first on you, because when we are going through that the challenge time, this is where God is shaping us. This is where God is showing us things that we have to uproot in our life. This is where we understand. This is where we breathe that intimacy with God. And this is when we listen to Him. That's why I said don't rush that season. Because when you take time to understand why God brought you in that season, then you will do things with diligence. One step after another, you will not just do things anyhow. You will make sure that everything you do in that season is to glorify God, no matter what happened at the end. Even if the result is not that at the end I got a child, at the end I got married, but you make sure to follow the instruction of God. You make sure to be obedient to the will of God till the end, no matter what happened. Even if I have to die, I will follow the instructions of God. I will follow the will of God. The truth is that today we are so, I don't know which word to use. I don't know if it's selfishness, but when you look at the stories of the apostles in the Bible, when we read the different book of the New Testament, they were not about their lives. They didn't care about they were killed, where they are going. Paul, when Paul was going to the city of Rome, he knew that as he's going to Rome, he will die. But it didn't stop him. The challenge that was waiting him didn't stop him. He chose to serve God and only God. And this is the mindset we should develop. This is the mindset we should have today. Today we are so focused on my well-being. No, I cannot go through this. This is a trauma. This is this. If you stay there, you will be traumatized. If you do this, what about you? You have to take care of yourself. You have to think about yourself. You, me. And what about what God says? What about what God is thinking? You cannot just, our lives doesn't belong to us. So when God brings us in a challenge moment, in a challenge season, it's for us to learn. And it's for that season to teach other people. It's for us that when we come out from that season, we should be able to give the testimony of that season. And another person that is going through the same challenge will say, Alex went through this. And she was able to stand. And she was able to trust God. And this is the end today. No, I have to do the same. Your story has to speak to the generations. People have to hear your story, hear the challenging time. Today you are single, and the only question you are asking God every day is, God, when? Is God when? Is God when? No, this is not the right question you should ask. The question is that, God, you allowed, why did you allow this? Okay, if you allowed this, if you allowed me to be single till my 40, till my 30, till my, is for a particular purpose. So God, show me that purpose, because I want to live to understand that purpose, so that I should be able to speak to another one, so that I should be able to speak to another lady. I have been single for 40 years and I went through this type of challenge, but I was able to stand for God, and this is the result at the end. At the end, this is what God built in my life, and I can testify it. I can give the testimony. Like a woman that had been barren for 10 years, and then she had been all through the process with God. Do you know what it means for this type of woman to stand and speak to other women that are going through the same challenge, and to tell them how she stood in the midst of mockery, in the midst of betrayal, in the midst of abandon, in the midst of rejection, and she chose to follow God, and at the end, God glorified her. It's a great power she carries. It's a great testimony she carries, not only for her, that at the end she carried her baby or her babies, but at the end she's able to say how it was tough, how it was difficult, but she had been all through it, following only what God wanted her to do. Even when she was having an opportunity to do other things that maybe should give her a child before the time, she didn't compromise herself. She stood for God. As a young girl, you stand and you say, no, I will not go and sleep with you. I will not do this. I will not do that. I will stand for the will of God, even if at the end I will not get married. Okay, no problem. I will stand there. But if you are not able to ask yourself the right questions, then you will go through that challenging season and you will not learn nothing. And another, maybe you will even get married, but another challenge will come. Still, because God wants to teach you something that He wasn't able to teach you from the first challenge He brought, because you were not open to listening. So, lady out there, I want to tell you, don't rush that season. Don't rush that season doesn't mean that you will not praying, God, show me the way, bring me out of this. No, it's that as I am in that season, I want to follow it step by step. I want to be able to write it. I want to be able to say that the first year, this is how it happened. The second year, this is what I experienced. This is what shifted in my life. These are the things that I've learned. These are the things that I have unlearned. These are the things I was able to disconnect myself with. These are the things I was able to receive in my life. You should be able to say it at the end. And this is what will glorify the name of the Lord. So I just want to encourage someone. I know that season can be difficult. I have been there. I know it can be difficult. But if you choose to go through it with God, if you choose to follow God's instruction, my dear sister, I can assure you, you will come out from that season with a great testimony. Not only for you, not only for your family, but for generations, but for unbelievers outside there that will give their lives to Christ because of you. Remember, the sacrifice of Jesus Christ was for us to be reconciled with God, was for us to have eternal life. And so, your own sacrifice should be for someone also to discover who is Jesus, to discover who is God. But if you are not able to write it down, if you are not able to follow it step by step because you are rushing to come out from it, then it will not profit anyone. And God will not be glorified in it. So, girl, lady, don't rush that season.